I can't hear you for some reason. Uh, Is it on my end?
Nope, me. Hi
Oh,
guys, it's Mary from Glimpse and Beyond. I was totally muted. Of course I was. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Look, we got Hip to Helen with us too. We're continuing our series.
let it go.
Yep, of letting it go. Today's version, I cut us off last week on purpose, you guys, because this week we're going to talk about grief. And that's a
Yeah.
super hard thing to talk about. Did you just have the one thing that said grief, Helen? Is that it?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
I'm not even going to bother putting that up if you don't mind.
Not a
You don't want
problem.
me to, because it's
Not a
just grief.
problem. Right, because full disclosure, I'm not even sure where to start or how to tackle it. So, whatever ideas you have is wonderful.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna first off, let's just say we've all lived grief before and we all live it different. There's basically how many? Like 5 or 7 stages of grief. Bear with me. I know the first thing's denial. I have been through this. You don't want to believe the person's gone. It takes a few days and then it sets in. Okay, there's denial. And then when you can't read your own writing, hold on, you guys, because I wrote it down earlier. Oh, then
Yes.
you want to bargain.
Oh,
Okay, now I did this a lot when my mom was in the hospital because she was like, it's so hard to talk about. I'm sorry, but my mom, she had a really bad heart valve from rheumatic fever. She got it replaced and then it failed.
mm,
She stroked, and my dad decided to keep her alive after she coded 3 times. And yeah,
wow.
so she was put on the spit floor. If you guys know, I'm not going to describe it as gross details. So
Yeah.
yeah, so thank God she only lasted 2 months.
Yeah.
But during those 2 months, it gave me a lot of time. It kind of divided our family a lot, which it needed to. I understand it now why it unfolded the way it did.
Yeah, because I feel like people mostly do DNRs. They don't.
I know, but and what's
Yeah.
funny is I did paperwork in my mom's garage about a year before this, basically a living will, and we had to have like people sign off so we could get it notarized.
Yeah.
So my brother and sister-in-law signed off on my husband and I. My mom's like, "Oh my God, that's a great idea." And I'm like, "Well, you should do one." She never did. Yeah.
Well,
So
you tried.
yeah, while I was up there, I tried bargaining with God, but it's not what you would expect because most people are like, "Oh my God, just let her live." And that was my little sister. Here with me, please take her as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Like, don't let her suffer like this because it was
Yeah.
horrible. And they were parading people through her room. My family, oh, they just want to see her one. I'm like, no, that's
Like
not what my
trapped in
mother
her
would.
body, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my mother would have hated it.
Yeah.
She had one lucid day about, I would say, God, it was just before Christmas. She went in October, and it was just before Christmas. She was totally lucid. It was amazing. I called everybody up. I'm like, she's like lucid. My husband came up and stuff, and my mom like held her hands together and was just like talking with her eyes.
Hmm.
And you knew what she was saying. Like, just take care of it. I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, you
Let
do
me
what you got
go.
to do. Like,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she went shortly after the new year. And then, of course, I don't know why, but like they gave her the biggest freaking funeral ever, which is not my mom.
It was for them.
Yeah, it really was. But then, of course, it was a Catholic funeral because we were Catholic. Hysterical story.
I
So they
have
got
a
to
good
the funeral.
story too.
It's,
Go
it's freaking,
ahead.
it's a great story. So this is how I know my mom had a great sense of humor, which I love. I love dearly. And she's in such a better place. And I know this. We said, obviously, you get there and you got to sit in the front row because you're family. So I'm sitting next to my older brother. My husband's on the other side. It's January, mid January. We live in Rochester. It's snowing. A ladybug is literally just walking right in front of us on the top of the pew. And
Wow.
it just stayed there like the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, my mom, how are you? You know, you just sit there and listen to everything. My dad, I don't know why the hell what he even said to the priest to talk about. My mom and dad used to go to Vegas. She liked to gamble, but she never talked to anybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have a problem. It's just, you don't talk about that.
Right.
The priest brings up, oh, you know, when Chuck and Kathy used to go to Vegas. Honest to God. All you heard was a bang and the biggest noise ever. It scared our friend Tony so much he almost like threw himself in the confessional because he thought the building was falling down. My hubby and I are just sitting there like, and here it
You
is.
can feel the
You guys
air
did
leave
it.
the room.
All the ice fell off the roof. It was like an angled roof. It all fell off the roof in that moment. Like you could have heard a pin drop in the freaking church after that. And I'm like, you better, here's me, you best shut up. Yeah. So then he came back with more. Every time he mentioned it, more snow would fall off. I'm like, what part of shut up are you not getting? In the nicest way. Yeah. So then we left there, and my God, my brother got us this limo. But it was like we were going to a freaking club, you know, like the hop and pop and limo with the lights. And I'm like, I was just like, I'm thankful to not have to drive, you know, 5 minutes to the cemetery, but like, what the hell is this?
You
We
got
got
the
to the
Girl
cemetery
Scout
and
wild limo.
yes, it was like freaking loud. My mom always wanted to be buried in a mausoleum,
Right.
which is fine. But like, I think she meant mausoleum because we used to watch soap operas, you know, like the family mausoleum.
Right. Right. Very Italian sounding.
Yeah. So, you know, we're in the Catholic cemetery, you know, getting the mausoleum. And of course, she's way at the bottom. No lie, this is another great story. My poor mother. I love you so much.
We'll just go with it. It's
Oh,
fun.
I am. So, you know, they're preparing her and everything to go in because that's what they do. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cremation, not cremation, but like going in a mausoleum. I always call it the morgue. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
They wrap you like the whole thing in plastic and push you in.
Like a
And
file
it's
cabinet.
like go down an elevator, which is on the bottom. I'm like, whatever.
Sorry.
It's all good. My husband and I turn around. My next door neighbor was Mr. Bates. They had a son.
Mm.
His son's up there. When I walk through a mausoleum, I know like the whole freaking row of people. So they're all calling to me because you know me.
Oh my gosh.
It's the most horrible place to go. I had to go to my sister-in-law's grave to actually grieve my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn around, his son's up there, Bates. I don't know who plans this whole mausoleum. You want to know what was next to him on the left? Oh, a Masters Bates. My husband and I are dying. We're dying. I'm like, for real? Why wouldn't that happen? Of course it is. We took a picture. I'm like, honest to God, this is it. So there is
Priceless.
laughter in death, you guys. There is. So that was kind of my acceptance phase. You know?
Is that the next one? Acceptance.
Yeah. Well, acceptance is last. You like working and then you kind of you get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Then you deny it.
Yeah.
Which my sister's still in denial about everything. And it's been, God, years.
See, that's not a good place to be stuck. It's not.
She's very dark and depressed where I'm so glad that my mom's free.
Yeah.
But like at the end, they were so bad. My dad would have like weekly meetings with the people there. So he'd get dragged up there every week. And they'd tell him every week, like, she's not getting better. He's like, oh, we'll just do what you could do. Well, her kidneys were shutting down. Oh, we're on dialysis. And finally they agreed, like, if this isn't working by tonight, let's take her off of it. You could bet your ass I stayed up there.
Mm-hmm.
When they all went to dinner, I looked at the nurse who was doing it. I'm like, this is cruel.
Yeah. And you know
I
it.
held my mom's hand. I'm like, you take that out of her? And the doctor came in right then. She's like, yeah, please take it out of her because the family already agreed and it's not working. She was smart to do it with my husband and I there.
Mm-hmm.
And the nurse was like, oh my God, She's like, I've never seen a family member have that much grace.
Yeah.
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 My family still doesn't know I do that. So if they ever say this,
Oh, I have plenty of things on my channel
yeah,
that is going to get me totally kicked out.
which is fine. But I'm like, I'm not going to do that to her and punish her because it's not
Yeah.
working.
I'm so glad we have a soul tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too.
I
So,
feel more empowered from the soul tribe.
yes. And it's so hard because like we ran into like the nicest guy on the ward right when my mom first went up there to the spit pit. And he's like, I can't believe my wife just had a stroke. And he was just like, I can't, what am I going to do without her?
Yeah.
He's like, they're telling me I got 2 weeks to get her out of here. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I said, well, how bad is it? He's like, she has no brain function. I said, you know what you have to do.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
she's my whole life. And I said, I know. I said, and it sucks. And I'm so sorry. He's like, thank you. He's like, you have no idea how much this has helped me.
Well, that's the powerful, loving gift of letting go
Correct.
and not being selfish in that moment.
Yes.
Because please just let them go.
Yeah. And
I
my
wouldn't
mom's,
even do that to an animal. I can't do it.
I know, I
Christine
can't
and
do
I
it
were just
either.
talking about that in reference to animals. Just put them down. Why do you put like an animal through surgery after surgery just because you don't want to let that
You
animal
see,
go? Stop it.
yeah, my mom was the only one that would agree to put like our cat down. He was sick. He had leukemia. Like he was sick and
Yeah.
skinny. Like she brought him to be put. She's like, I will never do that again.
Yeah. Stop making it about you. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was
Please.
horrible.
Please. Yeah. Please.
But what's funny, my mom had a love-hate relationship with that cat. We have a friend who's a medium. So I was talking to her one day. And she's like, why is your mom like standing at the door, keeps just like closing and opening this damn gray tiger cat? And I'm busting up. I'm like, you are fucking kidding me. She's like, no. Sorry for my language, you guys, but I literally said
I'm
that.
rubbing off on Mary.
I'm like, my cat, because it was kind of like my cat, even though it was a family cat, like it slept with me and everything, because they brought in a second cat like 8 years when he was 8 years old. And he was like, screw this. I'm going with
Yeah.
yeah, he's literally with my mom.
Aww.
Going in and out. And she's like, so irritated. And I just laughed. I said, oh my God. I said, that's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
nice to know they're together.
Yeah. Priceless. Yeah.
Yeah. But my mom's also the one that taught me how to kind of that it was okay to pray for death sometimes.
Yeah.
My grandpa, well, my papa, when I was 7, he had a stroke.
Yeah.
My mom came upstairs. She woke us up. So I knew it was kind of serious.
Yeah.
And she's like, Papa's in the hospital. She's like, I want you to pray to God just to, God, how did she say it to me? To have a lot of compassion and to please just take him. Because my papa never wanted to live like that. He served in World War II and everything. He was just like, no, just let me go.
Yeah.
She's like, pray to God, take him tonight.
Yeah.
So I did, and God took him.
Yeah.
It was like a great lesson. It was nice to pray. Like it wasn't being selfish or anything. I wasn't praying for him to stay.
No.
But I also that it's sometimes nice to pray for a gentle and easy way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have free will, and
Yep.
we choose. We're part of the choice whether or not we want to go or whether or not we want to stay, and then
Yeah.
divine intervention helps us, get through that. I've been praying to my grandfather to walk my grandmother home
Yep.
because she's in an assisted living after living on her own. She's
It happened.
98.
It'll happen though. Like my
Yeah.
Grammy, when she passed away, that was Papa, her husband.
Yeah.
She thought she was going to follow him in like 5 years. She lived like 20 something years longer.
Yeah.
She had diabetes real bad. And she ended up in the hospital. And she used to knit all the time. As soon as the doctor said that she could have chocolate pudding, I knew. So my husband and I ran down to the cafeteria and bought out all their chocolate pudding. And she was thrilled. She was like, oh my God, this is okay. But as she was getting closer to death, she would just sit there and knit in her sleep.
Wow.
But when she woke up, you can't tell me this isn't like, I love this. She'd wake up. She's like, Hank, no. I'm not ready. I got to get my pocketbook. I'm not got the right shoes. Like we would be having these long conversations with my papa, clear as day. And I'm like, this is
Wow.
fantastic. I love it.
Wow.
Then she
Yeah.
like a week after that, and I love it. I'm like, don't worry about her. She's with papa.
Oh, I know. I was thinking about my mom's mom today, my grandma Briggs.
Yeah.
Now I have her name as my middle name. And I have never been to a funeral where the person is smiling, but that woman was smiling.
I like that.
And I thought she must have seen
You know,
something so beautiful.
so magical. Yeah.
She went in for eye cataract surgery. She woke up and then she just laid back down and didn't come. And that was it. She laid
Yeah.
back down and died.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I never in my life before or since seen someone in a casket with a smile.
I've never seen that either. And I've never seen anyone look right except my Grammy, which I think is hysterical because she used to have the old funeral home.
Yeah.
I'm like, the funeral director did a freaking awesome job on her. And it was like right across the street. I'm like, dear God, okay, yeah. I was like, I don't know who your makeup person is, but the applause,
Yeah, Hollywood.
right? I was like, that's amazing. And then when I met my husband, like his mom had died 3 years before. He was so lost.
Yeah.
To lose your mom at 14, you're just super lost.
That's
And
devastating.
his dad was a big drinker. So that didn't help either.
No.
Yeah, and I literally, his mom, I met his mom. We had just started dating. I met his mom. She came to me in a dream. We had a whole full-on conversation about everything,
Aw.
basically about how our whole life was going to play out.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But like to try and tell him that, saw him the next day, and I'm like, so yeah, hey. So we've known each other for 3 whole days now, but we know we're going to end up together. Yeah. I'm like, okay, sit down. So anyways, this is what I do. And I like described the whole conversation with his mom, and he was like, oh my God. And I'm like, he's like, why'd she leave me? I said, she didn't, honey. She didn't leave you. It was just her time.
Yeah.
You know, I said, she loves you so very much. And we still go back to that. And like, I can go to the grave and stuff, but then they ended up, his dad had remarried.
Yeah.
That's fine. He always wanted to be cremated, his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Half put in with his mom and half with the stepmom.
Yeah.
He ended up with Alzheimer's. So the kids put him in a nursing home. During that time, the stepmother died. No one expected that. I knew it was coming. I always told everybody, like, don't worry about it. She's going to be gone before him.
It's really
And it
not
happened
fun being the
Yeah.
forerunner person that knows things. It's really not. I mean,
No, it really isn't.
it's amazing to other people, but it's a lot of burden.
It's a lot of work.
Well, I don't want to say burden, but it's a
It's
challenge
work.
sometimes.
It's a challenge. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
We walked in to see his dad because his brother called us and said, hey, Dad's dying.
Yeah.
I got there. All he wanted was someone to say the Hail Mary. Of course, none of them are Catholic. And they're like, all he keeps saying is, oh, Hail Mary, something. I'm like, just say the Hail Mary with them.
Yeah.
Here I am. Like, I haven't been to church in like 20 years. Here we go. All right, I got this. I got this. So we just kept saying Hail Mary over and over again. And my
go get married.
Yeah, my husband always laughs. He's like, you are like the only one that I know that got out of the Catholic Church so young, but you could go into a funeral just like that. You know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Catholic for you because it's very rigid and regimented. Nothing changes.
It's very repetitious. Like,
yeah,
sit, kneel, stand, sit, kneel, stand.
Yeah.
I know.
At his dad's funeral, he planned the whole thing, and they ended up having him buried. They had the funeral at the nursing home. So here's me again. It's almost like a morgue going in a nursing home.
I can't do them.
It's bad.
I realize now it's because I'm an empath, but I can't do them.
Yes, that's why you can't do it. You absorb everybody.
I cry every
you gotta
time.
put so much protection up around you, honey. I'll teach you. I'll try and teach you.
Can't even do it.
So yeah, they bring the casket in, and of course, you know, it's open call hour for the nursing home too. So why wouldn't you do both at once? His dad, I'm sitting there like just trying to get, why am I here? Like, why did they bring me here? And I'm like grabbing my husband's hand, and he's like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, your dad is shouting at me. Then the stepchildren go up first, and his sister's sitting in front of us, and you can see all the hairs on the back of her neck start to stand up because no love lost, let's say, between two families.
Oh, wow.
My husband, I love him. He's like, "Oh, Padre, you're about to hit your end because you're allowing the step family, and you better say your prayers." My sister's about to go over that pew right at you, and I'm like, "Oh, we can't have that."
Mhm.
But his dad, the whole time, he's like, "Why am I here?" Then, because his dad died in the winter, the cemetery where he's at, they don't dig in the winter, so he had to
Yeah,
stay
they
in the
can't.
mausoleum. Out there in the spring,
Another
mom's
mausoleum
grave.
for
Yes,
Mary.
yes, but to his mom's grave, we got to go out there. Of course, the immediate family comes, except for his older brother, who never comes to anything, which is fine.
Yeah.
We followed the car in. His sister's already there planting little flowers. Why? I don't know, because they're like, it's already dug up. Like, why? And what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my God, it's so windy. It's so windy. Like, you brought the wind in or something." Like, literally, my husband had to hold me down. That's how windy it was.
Mm.
Like, your mom is pissed. She was so mad because she's like, "No, she wanted nothing to do with it."
Oh, she brought the
pissed.
wind.
She was pissed that he was going to be buried next to her. She's pissed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You know?
why?
Right. So I'm just like, "Oh, well, all right, here we go." Then his sister
Yeah.
kept wanting to throw flowers in, and she almost fell in. I'm like, "Your sister's going to be buried with your dad. Like, she's going in that hole. Like, someone help."
Oh
It
my
was just a
God.
shit show.
Yeah.
Then the sister-in-law starts playing taps on her iPhone, and I'm like, "What the hell is happening?" I'm like, "I don't understand."
You were waiting for the monkeys and the
I,
clown
like
car and
something.
the
I was waiting for
band.
the full-blown like tornado to come through and just knock everything over. I was fine. I'm like, "Okay."
The
Yeah.
whole circus.
It was the whole kit and caboodle for that one. I was like, "Oh my God." I said, "Oh my God, your mom is so pissed. She's pissed. She's so pissed." And every time we go up there, the only one that's growing flowers is by her mom, by his mom.
Of course.
Like, his dad can't grow flowers to save his life. So I'm like, "Okay, it's how it is."
Ah,
Yeah. So, I mean, death, once you kind of accept it, you find the humor in it. But I'm the type of person who likes to look for the bright side.
Me too.
So, and it can be super traumatic death. So don't get me wrong. I had a friend commit suicide in high school, and that was like the first time I ever heard of that.
Yeah, I had a friend attempt it, but she didn't succeed. So I get it. That was
Yeah, she really did it. And I'm
shocking and
like, yeah,
traumatizing as the
yeah,
friend that the person says something to one day and you're going, what? And then
yeah,
next thing you know,
they're dead. Mhm.
yeah, or in
Yeah,
the hospital. But either
right.
way, you're like, how did I not take them serious?
Yeah, and all of
I
us, we
didn't know
were,
why we're getting on all of this. And let me just say to you, everybody, like, we're not mocking any of this. Please don't think we're making light of any
yeah,
of this.
we're
We're
not.
really not. It's just the funny stories kind of help us get through this material because I already had my breakdown last Wednesday. I knew this was going to be a
Yeah,
heavy one. Yeah.
yeah. And I've already broken down for
Yeah,
several
I
years.
broke down last week, so you could have yours today. You're
Oh,
welcome.
thanks. Yeah. But I'm kind of fortunate because I don't really break down a whole lot anymore because
Yeah.
I've done it so much, and I'm very, very blessed, and I know everyone's not like me. Like, I literally can still hear them.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
nice.
Well, we're going to get there. You said to me,
Yes, you will get
when the veil is lifted, it's not like they're coming back, but it's like we can hear them and feel their presence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of just like what I
Yeah.
do. And you guys are
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
fantastic.
That
It's
so
really
that
cool.
supernatural be natural. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
I like that.
And but a lot of people will get stuck in the grief process, and death, it happens to everybody. So please don't be afraid of it. Like,
Yeah.
don't fear it. That's kind of how we got in this whole situation that we're in 3 years later. Because
Well, we're on the
we're
precipice
funny.
of I can feel it that there's going to be a lot of death, and I didn't want to be right about that, but I feel like around me there's going to be some. I don't know. I don't
Some, but
know.
I don't know
Unless they
how
can
the
stop
movie's
it.
being, yeah, I don't know how the movie's being written to get there are some people that are just going to take they want to stay on this timeline.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know how they're gonna exit our lives, so to speak, but I almost feel like because we are gonna have the same upper vibration that I kind of have, they can be on that timeline and we'll know it and almost coexist.
Oh, so it won't be so bad. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. But like if you notice like the roads and stuff, at least around me, like there's a lot less people around.
Yeah.
A lot of NPCs have left, but they were all fake the whole time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess I get fear of the unknown. So I'm really battling that, to be
Oh, I used
honest.
to do that when I was young.
So
I
I'm
had a
part of
great
me is
fear.
expecting the worst. And then I was talking to Stacy the other day. I think like I said bracing for it. And then I go, wait a minute, don't brace for it, because you know how the drunk guy walks away from the accident? So
No, that's
brace,
true.
don't get all stiff and brace for it.
My
So
husband, when he was a police officer, they had a poster in their office because drinking and driving was a big thing back then. And it was a guy with all the scars all over the place. Not everyone who drives drunk dies. And he was all stitched up and everything. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it made you really think.
because he didn't stiffen up. Yeah.
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 So, yeah, it's a very hard thing to talk about, you guys, which is why we're kind of making light of it. But like everyone's gonna,
We
or
gotta
yeah, you go through it in life and it sucks.
we gotta flow with it. It's another we gotta
It's
flow
another
with it.
flow event because you have to, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And so many things are happening because of this
Yeah.
YouTube, you guys, So we have to keep praying. I know I say that all the time, you guys, but keep praying because so much good is coming from it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And pray for them even when they're gone because they're going to such a better place. I hope
Yeah.
you never worry about them because the place they're going is fantastic and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like my mom, I sent her to the Christmas room. Before anybody ever dies, they all come to me. I'll dream of houses for like weeks. It's weird.
Yeah.
And she came to me and she's like, so where am I supposed to go? And I'm like, go to the Christmas room because my mom loved Christmas. And this room was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was like the live tree. All the loved ones were there. I'm like, just go to Christmas, go to Christmas.
You know, I've heard that about heaven. There's a woman, a Christian woman, Kat Kerr, and she says God takes her to heaven all the time, her whole life.
Yeah.
And she just said the same thing you just said.
Yeah,
Like
they're all
the
different rooms.
house,
There's all different houses.
your house is whatever is your dream house.
Correct. Yes.
And you do whatever your favorite thing is to do. Like she
Correct.
found her dad fishing with his favorite
Yeah.
dog. She
Yeah.
found people at the beach or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very happy
Yeah.
place.
And like while my mom bitches about the cat being there, like she's in a
Yeah.
but
She
she's
said
in
all the
a house
animals
surrounded
go
by
there.
love and the animals go there.
She said all the animals we eat. She
Mhm.
said it's cows and cows for
Yeah.
miles.
Yeah, it really is though, because yeah, I've been there. So it's kind of interesting. It's quite interesting.
That's so cool.
That's kind of how I know someone's gonna pass soon. I'll start having all these weird dreams about houses.
Like where they're gonna end up at.
Yeah, and I'll like kind of warn her, and I'm like, okay, so let's go through both families, like what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually within a week or two, then we get the call, and I'm like, okay. But when we're really close, they'll come and they'll ask me. And my Grammy is the only one ever who ever got through afterwards. I literally was in my mom's kitchen like 2 weeks after my Grammy died, and I heard her call my name.
Wow.
Like loud as anything. And I like looked at my husband, I'm like, did you hear Grammy? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she needs something. But I could never get
your blood sugar's low.
Yeah, I'm like, I could never get what she needed.
Oh.
So I'm still like, but I've had dreams since then. And she's like, don't worry about it. So I'm like, all right, okay.
Aww.
Okay, are you sure? Because I'm like, it was like that kind of God, what I want to say, like it was that kind of worry in her voice.
Maybe she was on her way to where she was going, and
She could have been, but I knew
Yeah.
she was with Papa, so I didn't understand that. But I'm like, all right, maybe it's just fear. But it was 2 weeks after she died. It wasn't even like when she was on her way out. Like, you're dead already. Like, I can't help you that much after the fact. But let's see.
Huh. Who
So I just
knows?
prayed for God to like make it okay. And if I was supposed to know something, like let me know it.
Yeah. So
So
where are we? Where are we on your list?
I think we've been through every one of them because we're already at acceptance
Really?
because I accept everything. Well, yeah, because a lot of people, well,
Wow.
we'll go through them. I can go through them.
Okay.
Usually you're going to be in denial if someone says to you, hey, someone's in the hospital. They're not doing good, especially, okay, say you have people who have, I'm fully expecting it in my family.
Yeah.
Brother already has a blood clot.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you're going to go through anger. Then you get angry. You're like, which I've done with my brother. I've literally almost finished all these stages. So this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was like, why? Like, you don't do anything in life without talking to me. And you went and did that.
Yeah.
He's like, well, why did you come at me like that? I'm like, hello. Hi. Right. And then you get to bargaining. I did this with my illness. I actually went through all this when I was diagnosed with MS too, because you kind of bargain. And I'm like, okay, I'll take this as long as like none of my nephews get sick.
Yeah.
Like I can take this on,
Yeah.
you know? So you do that and you're kind of like, oh, all right, you know? So you think it's not that bad. It gets kind of bad, but it's, you know? And then you get depressed. Some people want to stay stuck there, you guys, and it's our job. If we shine our light, like if we keep our vibe high enough, hopefully we can just kind of bring them to the light.
Yeah.
Be kind, hug them.
Yeah.
They
And
start to wake up. They might wake up with a lot of loss. You know, it's not the time to be like, oh God, I tried to tell you for 3 years. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to like hug.
no, no, and there's no manual to grieving.
No,
Everybody deals with it in a different way
yeah,
and they have different needs. And I have a friend who her husband battled MS for 10 years
yep,
and lost. And within 3 to 4 months, she got fixed up in a relationship by her friends.
yep,
And and that was 2019. um she called me recently having sort of a breakdown saying like maybe I shouldn't have got involved so fast with this person because he's not the other guy, but
right.
I'm digressing here, but
No,
you do
she's
have
at
a
the bargaining
point.
stage. She never got there. So yeah, you're right on track.
Right, so she is doing some catch up, I think.
Yes, she is.
And the thing is, I was close to her and her husband.
Yep,
She didn't let anybody else in except me.
yep,
He was such a brilliant mind that it was so much fun to sit and pick his brain and have these intellectual conversations.
yeah.
Um, and so when she called me, it was like she just wanted to talk to someone who was there, who knew him, who knew
Yes.
her.
Yes.
And by the time we got done, she said, thank you. I think I just needed to talk to someone who really gets me.
Yes. Yes. That's all they're
Yeah.
gonna need, you know, and like just help them be kind.
And
It helps her move through. And I'll tell you what, I know that she hung up the phone, Helen, and cried
yeah.
because
And
she said
I made her promise me to go get some Epsom salt and go take a bath and not
good.
just go straight home.
Yep.
And then the next day because we both have a twisted sense of humor. So the next day she's like, yeah, I canceled my order for a wood chipper. I'm good. It's like, oh my God.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We
But
both
no,
said,
you helped her get through it, you know, and I'm sure that her husband visited her and that probably freaked her out.
I did pray for him
Yeah.
to
Because they
get,
will, and they'll let you know if you
I,
made a mistake. They really will. They really
yeah,
will. So
I
yeah.
can still hear him call her name because her
Yes.
name's Angela, and the way he said it, because they're Georgia, South
Yes.
Georgia,
Yeah.
and he would
I
say
live in Georgia.
Angie, and
And
I could hear
yeah.
him calling her,
Yep.
and because she's a firecracker, and he was
Yeah.
always like, "Now you just calm down," and
Yep.
I could just hear him
He
saying to
is.
her,
Like he literally has been saying it the whole time and he's holding her hand. Like
"Yeah."
literally he's trying to guide her through this and he's like, okay, we're going on this detour.
I feel like he's okay with her relationship. I feel
Oh,
like
he's fine
he
with it.
never wanted her
Oh,
alone.
he doesn't
Yeah.
want her to be alone. No way.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
women have a hard time moving on from that. Have you ever
Yeah.
noticed that?
Yeah, I think it
Like
had
a
to go
lot of
that way.
widowers, like we won't move on. But like if you're a man, like you think a year passed and that's enough time, and then they move right on.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Yeah, my grandmother was like, "Nah."
Yeah, both my grandmas lost their partners kind of young in life, and they never did anything. So
Yeah.
yeah, but like when I saw my husband's father get remarried.
Yeah.
My dad literally like almost a year to the day. Then he's like, okay, enough mourning, and he's off with a girlfriend that he wanted us to meet. It took me a minute because I was the first one he called. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if she
Yeah,
had
and I'm
time to
like,
think about
fantastic.
it, if
Yeah.
I think if you give yourself too much time, then you're gonna say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is fine. And I'm like, you gotta
Yeah.
do what you gotta do, you know. And he's like, well, I want to tell you because at least you understand because my sister's not married or anything. And I'm like, okay. So like he's like, and I want you to meet her Saturday. Fantastic. Give me a little warning. Fantastic. You're never prepared to see anyone with a different partner, be it a friend,
No,
be it your loved one. You're just not,
no,
you know. And now he's
no.
with someone, and the only grace that I have is that my dad's like, I will never get remarried. I'm like, thank God, because his new girlfriend, I call her new, she's been here 8 years. Don't like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just one of those people. I'm just like, no, no. She's like when I meet people, and I'm just like, no, thank you. No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nice to meet you. No, thank you. Her energy is
Does
way
she get
off.
uncomfortable around you because you know
Oh,
things?
totally uncomfortable because I know everything.
Well, that can kind of be fun.
It can, but she's totally uncomfortable. She'll sit at the freaking under end of the table. She doesn't understand. And she
Yeah.
doesn't understand why people even want to be around us. Like
Mm.
we'll go to a family function and everyone will just come to me, which I'm fine with, but I'm not
Yeah.
at the same time because I'm so used to being alone.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're like my nephew's graduation last year was like that. And I was like, okay, because it was my brother's ex-wife. It was like everyone was coming up and saying hi to us. And I'm like, okay, hi.
I just had this is random, the
Oh, go
best
ahead.
Easter Sunday because I still was weak physically from all the physical things that
Yeah.
were affecting me this weekend, and it was like, nope, can't go to church, nope, can't go out to eat. Here,
No.
let me send these people out to go eat with you. And I just like laid around going, this is best
It's
Easter
like you
ever.
breathe. Yes. Yes. It's like you
I
breathe.
don't want a people. Like when I
Yeah.
don't
It's
feel well, I am like a mushroom. I'm in the dark
right.
room
Yeah. Like,
hiding.
let me be. Let
Yeah.
me be. Yep.
Yeah.
And the honey and I got so used to it when we were in the military because like our friends were our family.
Yeah. Me
I
too.
like, well, you miss your family at Christmas and stuff. You're just like, no, I kind of want to be with my friends.
I
You
think
know?
that's why the glimpsers are so natural. They
Yeah,
feel so natural. Like they feel more family than
they
family.
are.
Yeah.
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 But we got a lot of ex-military in there.
Hmm.
But then we got a lot of people who aren't. They're just outcasts.
Yeah.
And we've always been outcasts.
Yeah.
Seriously, we always have been.
Yeah. Island of Misfits.
Yes, absolutely. You know that I found that and it's been like my whatever you call it on Facebook, you
Yeah.
know, with your home screen, the top thing. I have that up there. Yeah, and the Misfit toys.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So, talking about it, right? Let's give some now you said to me recently some people need like to nurture a plant for like a year kind of idea, or an animal or
Yeah,
something, right?
I like to tell people you guys know yourself the best. So listen to yourself. If you're the type of person that trauma will impact you significantly, you're going to want to just jump, run from person to person or place to place. Like, get me out of here. You're going to want to,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, those people that move like 29 times and you're like, why just buy one house?
Yeah.
One house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, give yourself like a year and see if you can grow a plant.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've always said a plant, but like a plant, because if the plant doesn't live, you're kind of not ready to nurture anyone else but yourself.
Mm.
If you guys, if we don't love ourselves, how is anyone else supposed to love us?
Yeah. Yeah, because we're supposed to be vibing, we're supposed to be matching vibrationally, um and not, draining the other person's energy. Yeah.
Yes. And when people are first in grief, especially being an empath, you collect everybody's energy that's at the funeral. It's super hard if they have kids.
Yeah.
It's super hard. And it's just like you got to literally come home and throw yourself in a salt bath, sage your house, say, and say like 10,000 prayers for all of them. But it takes a long time to come down from all that energy.
Yeah, it's numbing.
Yeah.
It's a numbing. Well, it's so funny. I'm really great in a crisis. Like
So
I
much.
was really great with 911,
Yep.
but the numbness is great in the moment, and my
Yeah.
brain kicks in and I have all these
Yeah.
solutions.
But like 2 weeks later, you're going to crash.
Or 20 minutes
Yeah.
later,
Yep.
I go and I have the breakdown,
Yep.
and when
That's how
that
we are.
breakdown comes, it's
Mhm.
intense. Yeah. It'll come. I'm great. I'm great in a crisis, but
Oh, we're fantastic. My husband and I
stay
were just
away from
saying
me
that.
after.
I'm like, yeah, we're fantastic. We'll get everyone through this. And then like the instant that they're through it, we're gonna break down because that's just how we are. Like you just do.
Gotta go hibernate. Yeah.
Yep. Pull the blanket over my head and I'm gonna be in the blanket fort coloring.
Yeah.
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 Because you
Till
gotta
it passes.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with little kids, I say that just because my husband was 14, but
Yeah.
even like if they're younger than that, it's so super hard.
Yeah.
You got to kind of prepare them before you bring someone else in.
Yeah.
And they're not really ever going to accept them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like don't expect them to call them mom or
No.
dad in the opposite case, because it's not going to happen. That's not who they remember.
Yeah. Don't force anything. Yeah.
No. And literally kind of listen to your kids. It depends. If they're super young, absolutely listen because they got their instincts still from heaven. You'll know. It's like pets. You know how they say pets always know everything? Kids are like,
Yeah. I know. I got 2 mind readers over here.
yeah. But when they get older, they could also want to sabotage you. So that's when I'm like, if they're younger, this
Yeah,
is
they
cool, but
boss
when
me
they get a little bit
around.
older, yeah, they just kind of want you for themselves. But you'll
Yeah.
know when it's time to move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your loved ones really don't want you to be alone because the whole purpose of being on earth is to have all these experiences.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. We came here to have fun.
Yeah. Even if it was like a sudden death, like they know that you're here for a reason and like their soul contract could be done, but yours is still going on.
Right. Right.
I hope that makes sense.
We'll find out. Leave
Oh,
us your notes in the comments.
yeah.
I really hope and pray that we've encouraged someone this week. We got wonderful feedback last week. So, which
Yeah.
is confirmation how important this series is. Like, we just really want to empower everyone. Get these tools in your toolboxes and
Yes.
be ready.
And be ready and just keep praying because we want to
Yeah.
save as many people as we can and keep praying for the ones that have lost people because it's
Yeah.
super hard, you guys. It's super hard.
Yeah. And if you have any blockages, old blockages, just you
They're
gotta
going to
deal
clear
with it.
themselves out. You got to deal with it. Yeah.
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 They'll keep rearing their ugly face over and over again until you do.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. You know what to do. Drop comments, hit like, share, subscribe. We will catch you next week with a new topic.
Bye.
Bye.